Do you ever feel like you're in a toxic relationship with your horse? Like, you love them so much, but they just drive you crazy and you're not enjoying riding them anymore. Or maybe you're afraid to ride them. Maybe something specific has happened. Or maybe it's just kind of like devolved over time, slowly into something that's just not fun anymore. And you're just like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? If that sounds familiar, we're going to be talking today about the 3 most common approaches I see people using to try to get out of this situation, and when those work and when they just don't, and what really needs to happen instead. If you're new here, I'm Ruby. I'm a whole horse stewardship trainer. I help people just like you to have a better relationship with their horse through whole horsemanship practices. We work with groundwork, rider fitness, applied training, co-training, exposure, and supportive care. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I have a diagnostic tool that I'll link below that can be really helpful to highlight any holes that you might have in your program. But today we're going to be talking about what happens when you just feel like you are stuck in a toxic loop with your horse. So I want to start by just acknowledging, like, so many of us get into this because we love horses, and we just, maybe some of us, it's like a childhood dream come true, or it's something that we just have done our whole lives and we just love them, and we could care less about the showing or the success or the competition. Maybe we do for fun, but it's like not what drives us. What drives us is the fact that we love our horse so much and we get something out of it. Like, you see, if you are on social media at all, I'm sure you see all of the things where equestrians are making fun of how much money and time and energy and effort we spend on these creatures that sometimes just are so challenging, right? Like, they get a tummy ache and they die, or they, I don't know, don't want to do it and they are just like annoying and get in the way all the time, or whatever. Like, there's endless memes about this, right? In fact, actually, if you have a funny one or a funny story about this, comment it below, because I know this is like super relatable. Actually, just last week, I was walking a horse at night, waiting for someone to come pick us up to take us to the vet hospital. And just like, why am I doing this? Like, I should just quit. This is silly. Like, why do I hate horses. I don't know why I do this. And then I was like, I do it because I have no other choice. I love them so much. I would never be anywhere else, even on the hard days. But the hard days are very, very real. So if you're finding yourself in this tension pattern with your horse where you're just not enjoying each other anymore and you're not having fun, I see people using 3 main approaches. They either try to really lean into more groundwork, they try to get more training, or they try to get more lessons. Now, the thing is, if you and your horse are in a place where you're clashing and it's just not working and you can't quite seem to get through it, there really are a couple of options. We can either bring your horse up to be more compatible with you. We can bring you up to be more compatible with your horse, or we can try to fix the communication between you guys. And the final option is that we could just say this isn't a healthy relationship anymore. And of course, that's the very last thing we want to do. Where'd it go? But sometimes that's the best option for everybody. So we're going to talk about all of these right now and get into a lot more detail. So let's start with when I see people using groundwork. Groundwork is fantastic for improving the communication between horse and rider. It teaches us how they think, it teaches them how we think, and it's just really, really good for securing those bonds and building trust and respect and all of the things that we want in a healthy relationship. The downside is that sometimes people, I think, get stuck in this more groundwork loop, and they can't seem to get out of it, and they start to wonder why they're doing all of this groundwork and they're still not having any difference in their rides or their relationship with their horse. And the answer might just be that you're doing too much groundwork, so might need to scale back a little bit. And I think sometimes with the groundwork, we get too caught up in trying to be productive all the time. And sometimes we really just need to like have a low pressure play day with our horse. So those are 2 things to think about there. Now, training is really good when we need to bring the horse to our level, to make the horse more compatible with us. If we see the potential in our horse to, let's say, be a great jumper and we love to jump, but our horse is just a little rusty, a trainer can often help bring that horse to that level. Where I see this go wrong is when the trainer is able to do wonderful things with the horse and the rider gets back on or gets the horse back from the trainer and they're not able to do those things. And then they resent the horse more, or they think that there's a problem with them, or they think there's a problem with their relationship. And the problem is really just that the horse improved and you didn't. And so that's where lessons come in. The lessons can train you to be more compatible with your horse. So training helps the horse, lessons help the rider. We need both, in my opinion, in order to really have a healthy relationship, because both parties in the relationship need to be working on themselves in order to be better for each other. So, if we have trained our horse, but we're still not compatible, the answer might be lessons. The problem with lessons is when people put too much effort into the lessons and not enough into the training, and they're getting better and their horse is not. And sometimes the horse starts to feel left behind or too much pressure, and they feel like they just can't keep up, and then they start resenting each other. So this is a big issue I see a lot. So if you find yourself in a toxic relationship with your horse and you're wondering why, especially if it started out good and you started enjoying each other and now you're in a bad place, there's a couple questions you need to ask yourself. One is, are we truly compatible and we're just out of balance right now? We need to just like get back into our program. And if that's the case, then the answer might be some more groundwork or some more training or some more lessons to help bring you all back into balance and help you to remember how good your relationship can be when it is good. But if the answer is like, really like my horse loves, I don't know, trail riding and I love jumping, we might just not be compatible. And as hard as that is to come up with that decision, and I think especially as pleasure riders, we think that we have all this pressure on ourselves to be our horse's final home and to take really good care of them. And I think all that's really wonderful. But also, like, what disservice is it for your horse to not get what they need because you don't want to do the thing that they want to do? Or for you to not get what you need and to sacrifice yourself and your hobby? Like, the whole point of this is because it's fun. Nobody has to ride. We're not here by force. We're here because we love it. And so if you're not loving it, that's a disservice to you. And so between those two things, we if you and your horse are just truly not compatible and you never will be, I think in some cases, the kindest thing is actually to allow your horse to find somebody that wants to do what they want to do, and for you to find a horse that wants to do what you want. And I'm dealing with this right now with a couple of clients that are just having a hard moment deciding, like, is this the horse that I need for the next step of my riding career and my path? And am I the person that my horse needs? And this is, not an easy question. It's something to really think about deeply, but I do think it's worth asking, because if you don't want to get down the road and realize that you missed an opportunity to do something just because your horse wasn't ready for that, and vice versa. So I think these are all really, really good questions. If you want more support with this, I have tons of resources linked below, so check those out. And until next time, hug your horse for me, and I'll see you in the next video.